the personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creation, is unborn. But when there is a friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth, just like fire accompanied by the Mahatattva. Srila Prabhupada explains, the devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful because they have no material hankering. A liberated soul has no hankering, and therefore he has no lamentation. One who wants to possess also laments when he has his possessions, when he loses his possessions. Devotees have no hankering for material possessions and no hankerings for spiritual salvation. They are situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a matter of duty, and they do not mind where they are or how they have to act. Karmis, those who think they can save themselves by their action. Jnanis, those who think that they can save themselves by their mind and intelligence. And yogis, who think that they can save themselves by their yoga practice, all hanker to possess some material or spiritual assets. Karmis want material possessions. Jnanis and yogis want spiritual possessions. But devotees do not want any material or spiritual assets. They want only to serve the Lord anywhere in the material or spiritual world that the Lord desires. And the Lord is always specifically compassionate towards such devotees. The karmis, jnanis, and yogis have their particular mentalities in the mode of natures, and therefore they are called itara, or non-devotees. These itaras, including even the yogis, sometimes harass the devotees of the Lord. Durvasa Muni, a great yogi, harassed Maharaj Ambarish because the latter was a great devotee of the Lord. And the great karmi and jnani Hiranyakashipu even harassed his own Vaishnava son, Prahlad Maharaj. There are many instances of such harassment of the peaceful devotee of the Lord by the itaras. When such friction takes place, the Lord, out of great compassion towards his pure devotees, appears in person, accompanied by his plenary portions controlling the Mahatattva. The Lord is anywhere in both the material and the spiritual domain, and he appears for the sake of his devotees when there is a friction between his devotees and the non-devotees. As electricity is generated by friction of matter anywhere and everywhere, the Lord, being all-pervading, appears because the friction of devotees and non-devotees. When Lord Krishna appears on a mission, all his plenary portion accompany him. When he appeared as the son of Vasudeva, there were differences of opinion about the incarnation. Some said he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, some said he is an incarnation of Narayan, and others said he is an incarnation of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. But actually he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And Narayan, the Purusha, and other incarnations accompany him in functions as different parts of his pastimes. Mahadang Sayukta indicates that he is accompanied by the persons, he's accompanied by the Purushas, who create the Mahatattva. It is confirmed in the Vedas, Vedic hymns, Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam. Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity when there was friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena. Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the devotees of the Lord, and Kamsa, the representative of Karmis and Jnanis, was a non-devotee. Krishna as he is compared to the sun. He first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki, and gradually he satisfied the inhabitant of the places surrounding Mathura, just as the sun enlivens the lotus flower in the morning. After gradually raising to the meridian of Dwaraka, the Lord set like the sun, placing everything in darkness as described by Uddhava. The frictions between the relative and the absolute. That's an amazing topic. Do we belong to the relative or do we belong to the absolute? There always seems to be a continuous opposition. Just like we don't want to die. Why? If it is natural to die, why we don't want to die? It's natural that you need food, so nobody's upset about the fact that he has to take food. And then it is natural, you have to go to the bathroom. Well, it's not such a pleasant thing, but still we all submit to the process. But when it comes to death, we are really upset about it. And we do so many things in this world trying to avoid death, the topic of death. And death is a relative thing. And we belong to the absolute. We are in absolute opposition towards the relative impact of death. And even the announcements of death, called old age and disease, is very much against what we aspire to meet. But because we are in a relative existence, we have a body subjected to the rules and regulations of the relative world, then there's nothing we can do about it. We simply have to accept birth, old age, disease, and death. So we are in confrontation between the absolute and the relative. Nobody can say, oh, this is not my struggle, it's not my topic, I have nothing to do with it. Well, Hiranyakashipu, representing here the non-devotional part of the attitude, he said, I'll do something about it. I'll become a yogi. And I get so much power that death will not be able to touch me. I mean, he was a scientist. You have to leave it to him. He was a scientist, he was a yogi, he was very determined. So he went into yoga meditation. He went to the Himalayas and he started to make tapa. Extreme tapa. Austerities, just like it's described. Yogis make austerities. Living in caves, just eating roots, controlling the breathing system. That's an austerity. To even control your food is an austerity. Because if you are doing a diet, then you have to force your mind to accept a diet. And if you say, I will only eat prasadam, only eat what's offered to Krishna, that is also an austerity in control of the tongue. So what to speak of saying, I will only eat roots in the forests. I only will chew on the roots what I can get there and the berries which naturally grow there. Otherwise I will not eat anything. Or like Dhruva Maharaj, he said, I will only eat green things. And then later he said, I will not do that also. I will only drink water. And then finally he said, and I won't drink water anymore either. I will simply breathe. I will take the life energy, the pran, out of the air. So that requires a great deal of determination. So that's what he did, Hiranyakashipu. He was so perfect in yogic practice that he was even stopping to breathe. And when he stopped breathing, his power became so immense that the demigods were choking in their breathing by this potent influence of this incredible yogi. They were all experiencing breathing difficulties. So they approached Lord Brahma, the creator of this entire universe. I mean, you're talking about a big shot guy, not just some simple president of a country. Lord Brahma is the creator of this entire universal scenery. So they approached him, they said, please, can you do something about this yogi? This yogi has us suffering. What does he want? Can you please go and take care of that? So Lord Brahma was urged to go there where he was doing tapasya. He was making a lot of noise. So then Lord Brahma came here. And he saw the great tapasvi, Hiranyakashipu. He went there on his swan, got down from his swan, and by that time Hiranyakashipu, his body had been eaten by ants. He had been standing on one leg, the hands in the air, for who knows how long. Brahma said, first of all, he sprinkled some water on him. And as he sprinkled water on him, his body, his powerful body got restored entirely. Because it was all in the power was there. Even though the material energy, the relative energy had already eaten away the flesh from his body. But he was still sustaining his life energy in that. And so a few drops of water from Lord Brahma's kamandula immediately restored his physical prowess and well-being. And then he offered his obeisance to Lord Brahma. Om Brahmaya Namaha. As he had meditated on the power of the Creator. And then Lord Brahma said, yes, I have come. You have called upon me. You have undergone such severe and sincere austerities. I've come to reward you, to give you what you wish to get. Oh, Brahmaji, thank you so much for taking the trouble to come here. I was really wishing one thing, and I knew only you can give this to me. I want to be immortal. I want to conquer death. I don't want to die. And Lord Brahma said, my God, you are in trouble. Why? Because the one you're asking immortality from is himself a being confined in the relative. I myself will have to die at the end of my life. So I cannot grant to you what I do not have myself. Damn it. What is this? All my austerities, all my difficulties, useless? You cannot give this to me? Sorry, Hiranyakashipu, I'm so sorry. You want to get such a high thing, I cannot give to you. Anything else I can give to you. Absolutely, but not immortality. Ha, he said. Anything else? Okay, got you. I don't want to die in the day. Okay. I don't want to die in the night. Okay. I don't want to die by animal. Okay. I don't want to die by man. Okay. I don't want to die by demigod. Okay. I don't want to die by weapon. Okay. I don't want to die on the land. Okay. I don't want to die in the air. Okay. I don't want to die on the water, because his brother was killed on the water. So he made all these conditions, and Brahmaji said, okay. Then he said, I tricked Brahmaji. He said he can give me immortality, but now I created such a difficult circumstances, Yamaraj will not be able to catch me, because I'll be always on the water or in the air or on the ground, and I cannot be killed there. I cannot be weapons by nobody. So I am now completely free to do whatever I like. I am the master of all. I am the king of kings. I am the independent agent of enjoyment. Just like my name said, Hiranya, gold, and Kashipu, soft pillow. Now I'm going to enjoy life. Soft pillows and gold and enjoyment of all kinds you can imagine. I did it. I made it. I achieved the perfection of yoga. Even the creator of this universe, he had to submit to my request. Like this the demons are. They want to dominate the relative sphere. But they don't understand that you have to leave the relative sphere and surrender to the absolute. That this is the only path towards liberation and benefit of the soul. You have to leave the confinement of the egotist world. You have to leave the world of exploitation and indifference. You have to submit to the absolute as a humble, surrendered servant. You have to give your heart and soul to the absolute domain of love. Yes, that is the level of the absolute. The world of love, which is beyond the desire, hankering, and lamenting. The world of love is such a fine domain that in that world of love you can actually unite yourself with the sweet will of the absolute. That is the key issue here. Uniting your soul with the sweet will of the absolute. who is always favoring devotion and devotees. He is not very inclined towards those who just want to dominate the physical, mental sphere for their limited projections. The Lord is not very enamored by that, because He has the absolute good planned out for you, but you want to separate from His will and want to get the relative good and make it an absolute. You want to become the master of matter, while actually you are the slave of matter. By the nature of conditional existence, we are all slaves of matter. Without food, you're finished. Without air, you're finished. Without drinking, you're finished. This is all matter, and you're a slave of it. But now, say, no, I want to become the master of matter. I will buy the water sources. I will buy the earth. I will become the owner of it. I will become the ruler of it. And the air, I will also dominate the air by the breathing exercises of pranayama. I will utilize the material energy. I will make sure that I am above this material energy, and I can direct it, and I can control it. Just like if you're a poor fellow without even a square meter of your own property in this world, then you become very bothered. Oh, I don't even have a house. And then some people come, the banks come, says, okay, no problem, we give you your house, you pay for it for the rest of your life. You get a little pigeon flat somewhere, and you have to pay for the next 30 years monthly installments to pay the bank, to get the feeling I own some little spot in this material world. Illusion is a costly affair. You pay and pay just to lose in the end. But this is the whole issue. You want to dominate over matter, not accepting the reality, the fact that you are a slave of matter, a dependent. And that is because you don't want to find out who is the real Lord of matter, who is beyond matter, who is beyond mind. Mind is part of matter, because mind always minds itself over matter. What's happening with my matter? And intelligence is serving also. Oh, how do I control matter? How do I enjoy matter? Intelligence in the mundane sphere does not assert its capacity to connect itself with the Lord of matter, with transcendence, which is beyond the material existence. The real Lord of matter, He is sweet and has a sweet will, and He has you included in His sweet will. But you have to surrender to His sweet will, because He is the absolute, and matter is His external potency and is presented as a relative, always exchanging elementary combination. Just like we in physics, we study that matter is not destroyed, it is just transformed. There is not real. You cannot say that matter as itself is destroyed. Every atom which is now in your body will always be somewhere, but not with you. Just like you sweat, some atoms are gone, right? We go to a bathroom, quite a few atoms are gone. And then you go and take your food, and new atoms are coming. And the combination and the extraction, the incredible, marvelous system of this physical body, which can disintegrate the respective elements into all the different amino acids and vitamins and chemical substances to distribute it all over the body to the different needy functions. All this is going on through your incredible digestive system. So in this way, atoms, matter in continuous transformation is manifesting right in front of you. And even though when you look at the mirror and you admire that nose between your eyes, you're not even looking at reality. Your nose is just a transformation of atoms. Like means every time you look is a different nose. Well, I mean, it doesn't look that way, but it is that way. And if you take a picture of your nose when you were a small kid, it looks different than your nose now. So in this way, everything changes. Everything grows old. But Hiranyakashipu, like the little Hiranyakashipus today, said, I'll dominate matter. I'll get the control of matter. I will not submit. I will not accept that I'm confined in the relative, that I'm a prisoner in the relative world, and that at any given time I will be called upon to leave this body, to be sent into the destination of my respective karma, because I'm not only subjected to the physical rules, I'm also subjected to the universal rule of karma and reincarnation, which means Yamaraj is going to get me and is going to watch what's happening in the history of this fellow. Where is he going? What did he do? What is the next birth he deserves in accordance of his action? Okay, Mr. Karmi, Mr. Jnani, Mr. Yogi, what's next on your karmic sojourn? Oh, this is very painful. To be subjected to matter and to the rules of matter, it's a very embarrassing situation. We wish to say, I'm free to do and to what I like to do, and to say what I like to say, and to think what I like to think. But now I realize that I have to obey by the universal code, and I will be judged for every word I said, for every action I did. It is all being recorded, just like in the Akash, in the sphere of the all-knowing, penetrating energy, which is represented within you, also in your subconsciousness. Everything is programmed, and it is always retained there, life after life. So therefore you sometimes have memories of previous lives, because it is still there with you. So you are all subjected to this. You are not independent. You are not the master of matter. Doesn't matter how much austerities you do. Doesn't matter how much illusion you will serve. You can become the owner. Like some people, there was one guy, his name was Somoza, a president in Central America. So they asked him what he was doing. He said, I have a little farm called Nicaragua. So he said, I've become the owner of this entire country, and all the other people living there, they are mine, because they're cultivating under my guidance. Because he was a president, one of those nutty dictators, you know. But, so you can get this position in this material world temporarily. You can think, I am the owner of the whole planet. Oh, Hiranyakashipu was not satisfied with controlling one planet. He wanted to control over all the planets. He wanted to get all the demigods in the Indra, the Svarga Loka sphere. He wanted to get that also under his dominion. So this is, like we look always into the stars. Which is the next one we're going to catch? Is it Mars? Are we going to send something to Mars or to Venus or Saturn? We are so mad. We cannot understand. We are confined. We are in the prison of the material energy. And this material energy has us in its grip. And just because what is our offense, what is our mistake, that we have not surrendered to the sweet will of the Absolute. We want to get the dominion of the relative. We want to get money. We think money, that's something tangible. Oh, I got money. Now I can buy people. I can hire them. Even I can buy sex life. I can buy killers. How much do I have to pay you to kill him? Oh, you're costly, huh? I get somebody cheaper from Colombia. Like that. You want to dominate over the material energy with your money. You want to think that I have become important and powerful because my bank balance. Yes, people can make wars with money. It's a fact. They can kill, but they cannot create one ant. All the money you get in this world, you create one ant. Not possible. One chicken, please, Mr. Powerful man. No, I cannot create a chicken. But every chicken can create chicken, so you're less than a chicken. Huh? Oh, then where's your big science? Where's your big material progress? Just shut up and accept you are a slave in matter, and you are here to surrender to the Absolute. You're not here to think, I am here to enjoy, I am here to control, I am here to get a good time out of this world. What do you mean getting a good time? All you're doing here is growing old and waiting for the next disease to hit. And finally there'll be one who's going to say that was it. Last chapter of this physical conditional life. Now you're getting out of this body. No, I don't want to. You get out. And not only that, come here now. What did you do in this lifetime? What did you do with your human form of life? Well, I don't remember. You don't? We do. Come here. Now we're going to look. Oh my God, you did this, you did that. You spoiled this human form of life. You spoiled other people's human form of life. You tortured people. You aborted children. You stole their money. You lied to your parents. You did this, you did all this, you did. And then you'll be very quiet. Yes, but also I did a few good things. Oh yeah? Let's see what you did. Good things. Let's look. Oh, good? Very little good is there. Oh, what an embarrassing situation. And then you find out Yamaraj is going to find the perfect next body for you. Crocodile. Go to Africa and become born in the Nile as a crocodile. So you can live your sinful life as a crocodile. Or something. 8,400,000 species to choose from the catalog of Mother Nature. And karma will situate you. Now you may not even be a crocodile in peace, lurking around to see who you can catch. There's also going to be a crocodile hunter who's going to be after your skin. So you're going to grow your crocodile body, then a crocodile hunter is going to come, kill you, and then your skin will be sold in a fine lady's boutique in New York as a crocodile leather bag. And you'll be gone again for the next round of your karma. round after round, rounding up. This is the material world. You have to realize it. I'm not making up the story. I'm not inventing anything. I'm not presenting a fictional movie. I'm just helping you to have a little bit of a look on the relative world where you are right in the middle of it. And what you're going to do about that? Surrender to the Absolute. Surrender from the heart core to the Absolute. Understand that only in love for the Absolute there is an absolute positive good expecting you. You are waited for. The Absolute has created you and wants you to join the sweet embrace of the Absolute. Give up karma, give up jnana, give up yoga, and enjoy from the heart the Absolute's embrace. The Absolute wants your absolute good because you are absolutely part of it, but because you have the absolute function of the free will as being a part and portion of the Absolute, you also have to exercise your absolute capacity of decision making, that I want to be in contact with the Absolute, I want to unite with the Absolute, I want to embrace the sweet will of the Absolute, and I don't want to take my mental powers to separate from the Absolute, because as soon as you do that, you become confined by the relative, because in the Absolute everything is one. In love, everything is one. Sorry, don't misunderstand. That's not impersonal philosophy. That is just a description quality. Yes, in the Absolute, everything is one. In love, everything is one. Husband is rich man. Wife is poor. If she marries him, she becomes the owner of all his riches, just like as much as he. When the children are born, they're coming out of nowhere. As soon as they're born in the family, they become the heirs to fathers and mothers' property. That means in love, they become one. One family, one nation, one creation, one Absolute. In the Absolute, you are one. God unites. Illusion divides. When you are in the world of illusion, you are out there for your own, out there alone. But when you're in the love for the Absolute, you're with the all-embracing feature of the Absolute sweet will. And there is no discrimination made. Not that you say, oh, you're a woman, or you are young, or you're old, you are black, you are green, you are white, you are yellow, you are rich, you are poor, you are handsome, you are ugly. Nothing. In the Absolute, everything is absolutely good, because everything which comes from the Absolute is also absolutely in its purpose. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudakshayek Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamiva Bhigacchati. The Ishopanishad announces that everything which emanates from the Absolute is also absolute in its intrinsic function. And if we surrender, and if we maintain the universal harmony, if we are in direction towards the center, you know, in the art, the circle is divinity. The circle has a center and a circumference. If you want to be on the circumference, not oriented towards the center, you leave that circle and you're going into centrifugal energy of the material energy, which just throws you away, throws you into the world of the relative. In the Absolute, speaking here in artistic terms or in geometrical terms, is the center, and everything emanates from the center, and the center is the Absolute. So if you are center oriented, then you are in the unit of the perfect round sphere. Now please don't think that in the center or in the circle anything is inert, it is lifeless. Not at all. Inside of the Absolute is the absolute world of love, Satchit Ananda, the world where you belong, the world where love is full, the world where there's only one interest, the interest of the Absolute, the interest of the Father, and the interest of the surrendered Son, the interest of love, the interest of Vrindavan, This is the absolute. This domain, this absolute domain. When somebody goes into the material world and tries to turn towards the center, he's a devotee. When he turns away from the center, he's becoming one of those karmi jnani yogi people who is just on his own for himself. This Hiranyakashipu stylish people. So then, of course, you're in trouble. But the thing is that when there's a friction between those who want to go away and those who want to go to the spiritual world, then the Lord comes. Then the Absolute comes out of the center. And He says, oh, you want to give trouble to those who want to go to me, who want to come to me, to the center? That means it's a curse upon you. You go further away. You go deeper into illusion. And I will protect my devotees. Of course, factually, when the Absolute appears, there's always an absolute influence of positive grace. And even those who are atheists and non-believers and troublemakers, when they come into the contact with the Lord, they are also being freed and they're being given the Brahman realization. So everybody's benefited when the Supreme Lord appears. But devotion they will not get. Devotion comes from devotees. Only devotees can give that spark of love, this spark of faith, which comes into your heart and fills your heart with warmth, and is giving you, oh, now I believe in the Absolute. Is this only abstract philosophy? Am I doing word jugglery? Or is there something to be loved within the Absolute? Is there something to capture your heart and to take it to the feet of Lord Krishna, the Absolute, the origin, the center? There's no artificial center. There's only the center. The center is the center. The circumference is never the center. So in the circle we don't have competition. There is just the circle and the center. And the Absolute is the center, and everything is in the circumference, in the harmony. What harmonizes with the center is center bound. What wants to go away from the center, that is irrelative. That's outside of this circle. That's within the sphere of the mundane material energy. Just like we have Krishna being the origin of the spiritual and the material energies. So Krishna is not somebody who's lost. Krishna is always the Absolute. And He is the absolute shelter for everyone as well. So in the realm of the Absolute, we will want to go and take His grace. We want to get His grace. We want to get His love. We want to pray for His forgiveness, for having gone away from His sweet will for such a long time. Please take me to be yours, my Lord. Make me an instrument of your love. I have no more other agenda, no official agenda and no hidden agenda. It is only your agenda which matters now. I'm just saying here, simple little soul, claiming, praying for grace. My Lord, Hare Krishna, take me up, pick me up from this ocean of material sufferings and illusions, and make me a dust atom of your sweet lotus feet. That is the only thing I aspire for. All opposition tendencies are simply buried. I am not going to go on giving trouble to anybody else. I am here to be yours. I am now aspiring for grace from the Absolute. And if He wants to let me wait because I don't deserve His darshan for another 1,000,000 years or lifetimes in this material world, I will not set my concentration and my focus on anything else except Him, because He is the center, He is the Absolute, He is the owner, He is the enjoyer, He is the controller, and I am not. So, concluded, accepted, and applied. So now it's up to you. Are you going to listen carefully? And are you going to try to come in contact with the Absolute? Or are you going to continue your battle for the dominion of the relative existence? Thank you very much for coming this morning and listening to these meditation words on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And since Krishna is always favoring those who want to serve and surrender to the Absolute, you try better to make Krishna be on your side and not ignore him or offend him, or even worse than that, give trouble to his devotees, because that's not going to be very good for your spiritual upliftment, for saving you from the material existence.